Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Let's Play Bloons Tower Defense 5 Deluxe Edition. It's now the 4th episode, and finally on the right level for what episode it is. But first, I'm going to tell you about specialty buildings. I'm going to start off getting the Boomerang dojo, because I really like boomerangs. And I shall tell you a funny story about that in the level. Right now we're going to Ocean Road, which is actually a revamped version of the first stage in Bloons Tower Defense 4. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so while it's all boring and easy, I'll tell you a little story. In 4th grade, my English teacher told us about how she took a trip to Australia and she got a boomerang and something like that. It was cool. So then she brought in a boomerang to class one day, and we all went out to the field and we threw it, and it went in a curve, and whenever the kids threw it, it usually didn't come back. But we learned how to throw a boomerang, and it was cool. So then she said that we could give her $15 and she'll get us one. She'll buy a boomerang for us. That's sweet. I love boomerang. First day I get it, throw it in my cousin's backyard. Doesn't turn around, so then I have to throw it again from where it landed, and it gets stuck in a tree. A few weeks later, we get it down, and then I throw it in my backyard once. Doesn't turn around, so I have to go get it, and I throw it again, and it lands in my neighbor's yard. A few months later, they find it, and then I still don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I was at the corner of our street in the dark, and I was thinking, that's a big wide open area. Of course I can find it. I throw it, and I don't even hear it land. And I never saw it again. So, yeah. That's why I like boomerangs. But also, a reason why I actually like them on this stage. Am I going to get them all? Yeah. Hold on, I'll explain it after this round. Okay, so if I set him to last, then his arc is going to constantly be getting all of these, because he's aiming for the ones right here, and his arc will come around and hit the ones over here. It's not entirely foolproof like that, but it's decent. And then you can just throw another one down. That'll be good. But also I realized that I should still be using a bunch of other towers. And the reason I'm putting them here is because of the spike bolt. So that once I upgrade him to spike bolt, if I also set him to last, then he'll be aiming here and just get that long stream, this long road. And because it has a bunch of pierce, meaning it can go through a bunch of 18 Bloons, then, you know, that's awesome. And I'll just start making a bunch of other towers to let them level up. Kind of like putting a tack shooter here, for the same reason it has that range. And if I just upgrade his range a little more, you can get all of right here. Very useful. The only problem with the spike bolt is that it doesn't have very good rate of fire. So when there's only a few, then it's not very effective. And another thing about the tack tower is that because they're just tacks, it's a very limited range within the range, I guess. Like, you can only hit within certain angles of the tower, and if you get the blade shooter, then it has a better range because the razor blades are thicker, so it's more of just that like ring rather than just those points coming out of it. But I always prefer the other one. And triple darts, I'll put one here and give it, oh dang it, I need more money. Throws 3 darts at a time instead of 1. and that's 3 at the same time, not necessarily 3 in a row. You'll see. Yeah, it kind of goes out in a spread rather than 3 in a line. And it's always good to give him the enhanced eyesight so that he could see camouflage Bloons. Just upgrade this one once more to the attack sprayer, and I'll move on to another tower. Not really sure why I still have this one. Oh, I should talk. Never mind. Spike Factory! That's really useful once I get the money for it. But the reason I don't really sell the towers too much is because you don't get as much back as you put in. Let's see. So if it's 325, you get 260 back. I don't want to do the math on that. It's about 20%, I think, that you're losing for each cell. And whenever you upgrade something, it's still 20% of that upgrade's cost. So if you really have more money than you need and you just don't really feel like having it, then that's fine. But usually it's better just to keep the tower. And the Spike Factory. This one is very useful. It's funny, I just put him down and got the experience because of that. But I'm going to place a bunch of these. Okay, so as you can see, they just launch out small piles of road spikes, similar to these road spikes, except they throw out a lot less at first. It's like 5 instead of 11, but they can be upgraded, as you shall see. Just throwing a bunch more so that they can get level up faster. Another good tower to put right here is the Dartling gun, because it has that spray, I guess, bigger stacks. That means that they generate larger piles of spikes per shot. Another reason they're really good is because they can pop camo Bloons, because, you know, they're not really aiming, they're just throwing the attacks on the ground. And I think I'm only going to upgrade this one, just to save on money. Because I don't want to do the same thing as I did with the Dartling gun, where I had to upgrade like all 7 of them for 1,000 each. But it seems to be getting experience rather quickly. And because there's so many, they are pretty effective on their own. And faster production, as it might seem obvious, increases the rate of spike production. And also something I noticed, I'm not sure if they took it out in the last update, but it seemed like every upgrade would increase their rate of production just a little bit, and then obviously the upgrades that specifically increase their rate of production would upgrade it a little bit more. But for the most part, it seemed like every upgrade increased it. I'm going to give him the Bionic Boomer, because that makes it so much more effective. And white hot spikes lets it pop through lead Bloons. Which isn't that meaningful right now because the Bionic Boomer should get all the lead Bloons. But just in case he misses something. Yeah, this guy, pop count. It shows how many Bloons each tower has popped. This one has only popped 11. So poor little Spikopult, it doesn't do anything. Even faster production. It's, you know, faster. Wow, they did get past. Because of those pesky ceramic Bloons. Okay, maybe I should upgrade them more. or more of them. Sometimes I always start complaining like, oh, it's too boring. And then it gets to a level that's like, oh, that's too hard. I wish there was some way to make it constantly flow. Like, instead of having to stop and press go each round, if it could just keep going automatically. But there's already a mode kind of like that I'll explain later. These 3rd and 4th upgrades are going to take a little while longer to unlock, but they shall be worth it. And if you heard that noise, that was because my laptop was unplugged and the battery was about to die. But, you know, I had it ready, so I just plugged it in right now. I'm going to upgrade him just because. Oh, that's right, round 45. Whenever you feel like, man, this round is going on a long time, and it's just a bunch of pink balloons, that's a good indicator that the next round is going to be the Moab. Which means I'm going to increase these guys a little more. Don't want to give them the lead popping ability, because that's not really very necessary anymore. Yeah, I'm not really sure how effective he was, but it was still pretty good. Because now he's popped 180. That's so much more than 11. Nice. I also got his experience level up for Juggernaut. Basically just makes him better than the Spike-a-Pult. And then for this one also, Spiked Ball Factory. Modified to produce heavy but viciously sharp spiked balls instead of regular spikes. Do extra damage to ceramic balloons. Very useful, especially as you could see how the ceramic balloons are just getting past. And I suppose I'll just give them that. And once I get back to 2000, I'll upgrade this one. What else should I do? Yeah, I'll throw more of these in here. So they're very cheap. Oh, I just remembered. I can throw down monkey buccaneers. Because they're awesome. And I want them to level up. Even though I'm sure barely any balloons will ever get past all the way down to them. But they might be able to get the Moab if it survives that long. Nope. Got a few of them. Just throw down a few more. See how much experience I can get them in this last round. Also a hotkey. Okay, Moab Shredder Spikes. Super hard rending engine driven razors and are specifically engineered to really hurt Moab class balloons. Basically one road on the evolution train. That didn't make sense. One way to upgrade the spike factories is to specifically target ceramic balloons, and the other one is to specifically target Moab balloons, or blooms. Very useful. And no love for the buccaneers. Okay, that was the end of that one. Thinking of changing my outro to thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Let's Play Bloons Tower Defense 5 Deluxe Edition.